I was out in the garden today and I noticed a plant had been chewed on. Now if you notice this leaf right here, this viburnum tinus, something had taken a big chunk out of it. And while I was walking around, I found the culprit. It was an alligator aphid. Here's what did it. It grabbed this leaf and was eating the leaves. So anyway, I caught one of them. But in all seriousness, a viburnum tinus like this is a temperate garden plant. Now, by temperate, it means it lives in areas of moderate rainfall. It can take cold temperatures in the winter that go down well below freezing. It can handle wind, and in the summertime it can handle temperatures of over 100 degrees, but usually the temperature does not stay there very long. Anyway, temperate climates occur in all of the continents, in parts of them, in North America, South America, Europe, Asia, Australia, and Africa. Each one of those places has certain areas that we would call temperate. Now, I've been designing and dealing with plants and planting design since 1973, when I graduated from the University of Oregon in landscape architecture. I'm a licensed landscape architect. Now, when I design a residence or commercial or parks that I've done, I think in terms of maintenance, low maintenance. Now, a lot of the shrubs I use are low maintenance, meaning that they do well in the conditions that they're planted in, and I'm thinking of how big they'll get. So like in 5 years, hopefully the plant will have filled in, and once the plants fill in, they kind of form, they lock in to form weed barriers. And I like to pick plants that have nice flowers or fall color. And when you're doing a design, you think in terms of groupings, like what plants will look good together. You might have 3 or 4 low growing plants, and then in the background have some medium growers, and then you have your large plants that go clear in the back that are tall, maybe 7-8 feet. So there's lots of considerations when you're designing your own landscape. So I hope this video will clear up some of these issues for you. Okay, good morning. I'm standing in front of a Cypress lawsoniana. That's the botanical name. With the yellow leaves, it's a cultivar of a Port Orford Cedar. And there's 2 cultivars. I'm not sure which one it is. One of the cultivars is a Gold King, and it gets 40 feet. The other cultivar is called a Yavonne, and it gets 20 feet. And as you can see, it's a beautiful plant. And the needles that give it away are little stringy looking things. And now the yellow part will stay that way. It's not just new growth. It's a characteristic of the cultivar. This is a really fine plant for a temperate garden, for zones 5, 6, or 7. And we're in zone 5 here on the coast. Now it's ideal for the coast. Here's the foliage of this Cypress. This is cultivar. Okay, I'm standing in front of one of the really nice landscape plants. The common name is Heavenly Bamboo. The botanical name is Nandina domestica. And as you can see, this guy is up here about 7 feet tall. And people just really like it because it gets pretty berries. There's little teeny flowers, the last of them right now. But anyway, it's a gorgeous landscape plant. Okay, this plant here is a strawberry plant or strawberry madrone, and you can see it gets these little berries. Oop, that one fell off. Yeah, this is at the end of the season, but in the summer it can get loaded with these, and these berries are edible. Now, this plant is a very good coastal plant. It can take lots of wind in zone 5. And it grows well in zone 6 and 7. So this is a really tough plant, and it can get fairly large. Now we're going to look at how big this thing really is. It's been here probably for 40 years. Now, in the same video, we talked about Heavenly Bamboo, or the botanical name is Nandina domestica. Now, here's a compact version of the Heavenly Bamboo. It's, as you can see, it's not getting very tall. The one we looked at before was 7 feet tall. Now, this is a real nice version. It's got pretty foliage, and maybe we can get a close-up. We got some reddish foliage, and the needles, the leaves are attractive in the winter time. They're turning red. Here's some real red ones right there. So this is a really nice garden plant. It does well. We're 5 miles away from the beach, and it's doing fine. There are some plants that will not do well when you're this close to the ocean. Anyway, this is a compact Heavenly Bamboo. Okay. As you can see, this is a huge plant. You don't see these very often. This is an Arbutus unedo, which is the botanical name. And normally you won't see one that's 50, 60 years old. This is a really good specimen. It's in our yard. And we've had to prune it. We pruned it so we can kind of get a view of this. We pruned it into a hedge. It was just getting too big, and so we squared it off. So this plant, you would want to use it in the background, but if you have really harsh conditions, like here on the coast, we're in Coos Bay, Oregon, the north wind kills a lot of plants. But I've seen this one right out where it gets the direct blast of the north wind and the salt crystals in the air, and it can withstand that. So just keep this one in mind. You can't really go wrong with it. Hey, I would like to point out a really nice ground cover. As you can see right here, it's really filled in, and it fills in so nice and thick that it lowers your maintenance. As you can see, weeds can't grow up through it. Now, I'll get kind of down. Now the needles, as you can see, are little short guys, about a 1/2 inch long. And you can see they're just spreading out. That's what the shore juniper does. It just spreads out and gives you a really nice ground cover. Now we're on the coast, and it does well in coastal air, which has salt crystals in the air, and it can handle that. It can grow right on the beach. The Mugo pine itself can get 8-10 feet tall. This one, as you can tell, it's nice and dense, and it's a cultivar of Pinus mugo. It's I'm not sure which cultivar. There are several cultivars. This one could be a gnome, G-N-O-M-E, which gets 3 feet tall, or it could be a cultivar called a Mops that gets 5 feet tall. Now, if you want them nice and compact, you need to get one of those cultivars. Now, there's also a variety called Pinus mugo pumilo, which is another compact version. So just don't go get a mugo pine, because you're liable to get a huge plant. Now, something else I wanted to bring up is we can talk about these plants, but the problem with using them in the landscape is finding these plants. Now, if you want these plants, you're most likely, you might find them, you'll probably find this one at a nursery, but some of these others, you can go to mail order places. Now in Oregon, Tufels is a mail order place. There's other places that will that you can get them mail ordered to you. I was talking about getting these plants, ordering them through the mail, and if you want specific plants, that's the way to do it. Now there's another place in California called Monrovia. You can get a mail order through there. There's also 3 other places. One is Burpee, B-U-R-P-E-E. The other is Nature Hills, and the last one is Spring Hills. Here's a really gorgeous landscape plant. You've probably seen it. It's a golden threadleaf cypress. That's the common name. The botanical name is Chamaecyparis piscifera, Folifera aurea. That's quite a term, but if you want to get this plant, that's what you need to tell these wholesale nurseries. That's the one you want. Now this plant fills in nice. As you can tell, weeds can't come up under it. Gives you a nice golden color. So just keep this one in mind. Cut. Now here's one of the neatest garden plants. Here it is in full bloom in December. Now it's going to keep blooming through most of the winter. And notice it's spreading out. It doesn't spread real fast, but it will fill in a space, and for maintenance you don't need to prune it. It will shade out the weeds. Now the name of this, the common name, is Springwood Pink Heath. The botanical name is Erica carnea Springwood Pink. Now this heath originates over in Scotland and Ireland, and again, a lot of people want fall and winter color, and this is how you get it. Now there's a white form of this that's called Springwood White. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Now, in the same video, now, I'll get kind of down. Now the needles, as you can see, are little short guys. 2, 3. Now here's a really gorgeous landscape plant. You've probably seen it. It's a Mugo Pine itself can get 8-10 feet tall. This one, as you can tell, now here's one of the neatest garden plants. Here it is in full bloom in December.